Hello, my name is Jacqueline Barco and I am a Clinical Assistant Professor of Accounting here at Indiana University Northwest. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you risks, assumptions, and sources of capital. Remember that starting a new business comes with significant risks. Be sure that you identify as many risks as you can that you will be taking on. Not all risks can be avoided. You should also identify what mitigation measures you are using to reduce or remove disruption as a result of the risk. Your business plan should show that you have carefully considered all potential risks and that you have plans in place to minimize those identified risks. Insurance is a great way to reduce the financial impact of some risks. There are many different types of insurance policies available to help with risk mitigation and indemnification in the event of a loss due to the risk factor. Identify the insurance policies both required and not that you plan to keep along with the costs. You should be able to get a quote for the different insurance policies, and these would be included in your startup costs discussed in the record keeping and cost terms video. Your business will be most likely relying on some type of computer system to maintain records and other important information. However you decide to maintain records, each comes with associated risks. If you choose to keep paper copies of everything, you run the risk of loss due to flood, fire, theft, etc. If you select computer, you run the risk of malfunction or information theft. Regardless, you should have a plan in place for protecting all information that is important. You also want to be sure that you have sufficient protection of this information to avoid hackers gaining access to any customer information. Your business plan will show you have thought through all potential disruptions by including a disaster recovery plan. This will show that in the event of some type of disaster, you feel confident that you can continue producing. Explain how you will continue operations in the event you encounter any disasters. Throughout the record keeping and costs video and the financial statements video, I suggested the need for disclosing your assumptions. Assumptions are things that you are assuming to be true for your estimates and disclosures. Since your business plan is entirely a plan, you are making assumptions, especially in your financial disclosures. You should be sure that these assumptions are disclosed. In the case of your estimates, be sure to discuss how you arrived at the dollar amounts to show that you understand the numbers and what they mean for your business's success. There are many different sources of funding available for new businesses. You should consider your options and be sure to disclose them in your business plan. A well thought out business plan will show the different sources of funding and how each will impact and benefit the business. Earnings that would be used to reinvest in the company. This is a great source of funding and should be considered for your long-term planning. But remember that you will not have immediate residual earnings, so you will need other sources for initial capital. Taking on debt can come in many different forms. These are loans that must be repaid. Remember that your business plan should disclose the mix of funding sources you are intending to use. There are many advantages and disadvantages from taking on debt. You do not have to share profits or give up any control when it comes to debt, but you do have to repay the full loan plus interest. This is going to impact your cash flows and add to your fixed costs. Equity is investments made by selling stock or other investments. Equity does not have to be repaid. You will, however, generally issue dividends of some kind with profits. The advantages of equity financing is that the investment does not have to be repaid and there is not interest. However, taking too much in investments could result in loss of control of your business. Gifts and grants are another great way to generate funding. Be careful with these as they may come with additional requirements and stipulations that limit your decision making. Your business plan should demonstrate that you have carefully considered the risks associated with opening your business. Be sure not to avoid disclosing these risks in your business plan and explain what you are doing to minimize the potential business impact as well. You should also be sure to disclose all assumptions throughout your plan. Finally, your funding could be sourced in a variety of ways. Be Be sure to explain your plans for how you will use each and how this will impact your financial structure. Your business plan should recognize the effects of taking on too much or too little of any of the funding sources. Thank you.